This will unlock the San Diego Padres. Once this star player regains his MVP form, it will have major implications, not just in the team, but throughout the entire league. You should know who I'm talking about. But before we get into anything, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel because I love making these videos. I love that you guys watch these videos, and I want to keep making these videos. So please support us, please subscribe. But as you can probably tell, this is going to be a Tatis Jr. video. So you've seen him play recently. Not great. I mean, there was flashes of good moments, but overall, it was probably one of the worst times in Tatis's career, at least throughout the entire month of May. So while I was perusing on Twitter, as I do, I found this really good article on why they think Tatis is slumping, and they gave me a butt ton of facts, a butt ton of just statistics in general, and I thought we could cover it. So before I say anything, full credit goes to this man, Archie Cianfrocco. Sorry if I said your name wrong, but on the website Letters to AJ, it's called Anatomy of a Slump. Full credit to him. Everything I've gotten from this, or 90% of it, is from this article. So check it out. Letters to AJ. Shout out to this guy. But let's deep dive. So today's video is going to be a lot of deep statistics. And if you're not super into statistics, I understand. I will try my best to explain it to you. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section. I'm sure other people will answer as well, because there's a lot of smart people down there. But let's just get into Tatis Jr. and why he struggled. So let's start. I have a lot of quotes, a lot of statistics to go over today. So let's just start with that. So to start off, despite what the eye test might have suggested, while Tatis was having the worst slump of his life, his ground ball rate went down and his fly ball rate skyrocketed. His pop-up rate also increased, and he hit almost no line drives. He had a much higher average launch angle. His exit velocity took a small dip, which might be expected with an enormous jump in average launch angle. And even after the dip, his average exit velocity was in the league's 95th percentile. Like I said, from Archie Cianfrocco. So this was in response. Well, this is in the beginning, but they were also talking about if that injury Tatis received. That was a clip of it. But you remember when he got hit in the forearm and it swelled up and he was fine? They went into it. I don't want to say exact. I don't want to read word for word, but basically they said they looked at it and found that this injury did not cause any significant damage or damage to his swing. But his swing has definitely looked different. So, I showed you all these complicated words. I have some graphs to go over what that means. So, this is his swing chart with the ideal attack angle on each section of the zone. The ideal attack angle is considered between 5 and 20 degrees. If you don't know what ideal attack angle is the angle of the bat's path as it goes through the hitting zone. A positive attack angle, slightly upward, is ideal because most pitches come at a downward angle. So you want to match the bat path to the pitch angle, which helps square up the ball and hit line drives or home runs. And like we said, the ideal attack angle is considered between 5 and 20 degrees. So as you can see from this chart, this is from opening day till May 2nd. Most of the zone, and especially higher up, Tatis averaged good attack angles. So everything between that ideal attack, except for the middle right of the zone, or middle outside, and then outside the plate, and then the bottom left, I should say also. But everything else is relatively in the good attack angle. But once we move on to the next image, this was from May 3rd to May 31st, as always, 5 to 20 degrees is the ideal attack angle. You can notice some drastic changes in attack angle, especially up and in, which is why pitchers are always pitching them up and in and almost hit him, which is annoying. But as you can tell by the numbers, there's a reason why they're throwing it up and into him. I mean, I'll show you a comparison, but even the worst part of this, and we'll get into it in a sec, down the middle, his attack angle is not great. He can still hit it down and away, and it's about relatively the same, but it's not looking great. Let's put it that way. So the attack angle is completely different. Not completely different, but relatively different from what it was before May 3rd. So the swing path had an ideal 13-degree attack angle, 6 degrees to the pull side, but still ended up as a ground ball. And this is what it comes down to. Productive hitting doesn't come from hitting the ball hard or a swing path designed to hit in the air. It comes from hitting the ball well, meaning a combination of sufficient exit velocity and a healthy launch angle. I, of course, have more things to go with that. So this is his baseball savant percentiles rankings. So launch angle sweet spot between 8 and 32 degrees. The range leads to highly productive contact on batted balls. So if you want a steeper explanation, the sweet spot refers to the ideal range of launch angles that we said 8 to 32 degrees, where batted balls are most likely to result in hits, especially line drives and home runs. When a ball is hit into this range, it tends to travel farther and stay off the ground, which increases chances of getting on base. Hitting the sweet spot doesn't always require max power. Its good angle plus decent contact can still lead to strong results. So, in 2025, the average for balls in the sweet spot, its batting average is at .573, on base .565, slugging percentage 1020, OPS 1585, extremely high offensive output from this contact profile. Even with low exit velocity from 70 to 75 miles per hour, hits in this range still yield a 659, 657, and 703. So, they're gonna dive deeper into the percentile rankings, but look how everything is red. But if you look at the launch angle sweet spot, it is at just 2 on the percentile ranking, but it's at 23.6. So while everything looks great, he's not hitting his sweet spot. And I, of course, have more on that. But launch angle is LA. HH is hard hit. I put that up there for you. But Tatis struggled in May despite hitting the ball hard and elevating it. His main issue is he wasn't consistently getting the ball into the launch angle sweet spot, 8 to 32 degrees. Further analysis reveals that even when he did hit into the sweet spot, fewer of those hits were hard hit, high exit velocity. The combination of fewer ideal angles and less power led to a sharp drop in productivity. So let's look at the chart, right? From 3/26, so March 26th to May 2nd, he had 95 balls that were hit into play. 26 of them were in the launch angle sweet spot, which results in a 27.4% of balls hit in the play with a sweet spot hit. But from 531 to 553 to 531, he had 78 balls hit in the play. Only 15 of them were put in the sweet spot, which led to a 19.2% hits in the sweet spot. And that's I don't want to say a significant drop-off, but a pretty sizable drop-off. And if you talk about the hard hit and sweet spot, which combines both of them in the 95 hits, 22. So hard hit and sweet spot means it's hit hard and in the sweet spot. I'm sure that makes sense to some people, but just in case it didn't, it's a little bit more specific, let's put it that way. But only 22 of them, which put it at 23.2, but then even then, 78, only 12 at a 15.4%. So his percentage of hitting the ball hard has dropped off. And I mean, you can see it on there. The sweet spot is at 2. He is hitting the ball hard with a 52.8% in the great percentile, but he's not hitting the sweet spot. And as we kind of noticed on here, even when he did hit the sweet spot, fewer of those hits were hard hit. So the fewer ideal angles, like we said, and less power led to a sharp drop in productivity. So another thing I want to bring up, though, historically speaking, this is 2024, 23, and 21, May has not been the best year for Tatis. I mean, last year it was fine. And then again, 2023 was fine. And then 2021 proves me wrong on this statistically. But June-wise has always been Tatis's best month. I know 2021 is a little different. It's a little bit the same May and June. But, I mean, 365 in 2024, 318 in 2023 is home runs, 5, 6, 10 in 2021. So, statistically speaking, with Tatis's abilities in June, he should be getting hotter. But will he and is he are completely different things. So what we can say is that Tatis showed several signs of inconsistency in May, including very different swing paths compared to the first month of the season, and even when he put a I don't think it's correct, but even when he put the ball a good swing path, he was rarely hitting the ball well. There's no way to know if Tatis' swing path disparity and inability to hit the ball well during May is due to sustaining a contusion to the extensor compartment of his forearm, but it's one explanation that has some plausibility, and strangely it carries a pretty favorable prognosis compared with other potential explanations: deliberate swing changes, catastrophic deterioration of skill, loss of approach. Nothing is that's a big word. Mono-casual? That's a big word. I don't know what that means. But and it's likely that a combination of factors explaining the slump. But injury to the extensor compartment of the lead arm of a hitter would be expected to lead to a flattening of the attack angle, similar to how it would a golf swing. It's something to consider, and this has some important implications for how the team makes decisions over the next 2 months. So yeah, I already showed you. So could his injury be the cause for his lower launch angle and his less hard hits? Maybe, but on the x-rays it proved no damage, and I mean, he's playing, so if there was anything that was significant to, like, any significant injury to his arm, I'm sure they would have shut him down. But he seems to be fine, so much so that I forgot this happened until I started reading this article. But one comment I saw on Twitter after on this Twitter post I saw, great insight as always. However, if his swing numbers other than the angle of attack stay the same, I'm inclined to think it's his toe tap leg kick change that's messing him up. Someone got in his ear that his launch angle was not good and needed to axe the toe tap. Why? He was ranking. So, what you might have not noticed or forgotten, 2024, you can see his swing, his leg is a much more up than what it is in 2025. So 2025, he adapted a more toe tap batting stance, but in 2024, he's doing a full leg lift. Could that be the reason his launch angle changed? I mean, I presented you the data. That's something not anyone could know besides maybe Victor Rodriguez and him. Victor Rodriguez, the hitting coach. So, but as you can tell, he was hitting really well up until he basically got hit. So, is it him getting in his own head? Is it the injury? That's questions you guys should answer and let me know in the comment section below. But I do have one more quote I want to show you. This is from MLB Network talking about his batting change. In 2024, he used a leg kick to generate power and lift the ball, but in 2025, he's getting his foot down earlier. For me, that earlier foot plant is key to consistency. It also reduces strain on the lower half, which should help him stay healthier over the season. I think it's a great adjustment that gives him the ability to be more consistent. That being said, this was not a recent post, a recent video. It was from a while ago. So, I presented you the facts. The facts is that Tatis' launch angle and hard hitting is going down right now. He's not hitting as hard as he could be, and the angles aren't as good as they could have been. I'll show you guys the pictures again, of course. This was opening day to 5/2. This is May 3rd to May 31st. This article is written the 2nd, so it was written yesterday. I don't know. I'm sure nothing's changed in the past 2 days. I mean, he hasn't looked that great anyways. But, yeah, as you can tell, he's not squaring up the attack angle as much as he used to. But, yeah. That is my case, or my study, I guess, on Tatis. Again, full shout out. Once again, I'll read his name. Arraez. Again, sorry if I said your name wrong. All the credit goes to him. Make sure you subscribe to Letters to AJ. Do whatever you got to, because this man deserves the love. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Tatis' injury is the reason he's hitting bad? Do you think it's just him getting in his own head? Do you think this slump will end now that it's June? Let me know. I'm curious to know what you guys think. And if you have any questions about any launch angle statistic stuff, please let me know. I will try my best to answer them for you. But, yeah, as always, please subscribe. And, of course, go Padres. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day.